Hello, and welcome to 20 Minutes with Jesus. Before we begin, take a deep breath. Let the noise of the day settle. This is a moment to slow down, not to rush. The end of a year often brings a mixture of emotions: reflection, relief, gratitude, regret, hope, and sometimes exhaustion, all living in the same space. It is a season when many hearts feel pulled in different directions at once. There is pressure to evaluate everything, to fix everything, to prepare for what comes next. But God often invites us to something different. Instead of rushing toward change, He calls us to alignment. Instead of noise, He invites peace. Instead of reaction, He invites intention. Discipline and self-control are not words that usually feel comforting. Many people associate them with restriction, effort, or pressure. But in Scripture, discipline is not about punishment or harshness. It is about direction. It is about choosing a path that leads to peace, even when emotions want to lead elsewhere. As the year comes to a close, God gently invites us to turn away from what disrupts the soul and to pursue what restores it. This is not a call to perfection. It is a call to awareness. Self-control, in its truest form, is not about controlling everything around you. It is about learning how to govern the inner world, thoughts, reactions, words, and choices, so that they align with God's heart. Many people finish the year feeling scattered. Too many voices, too many opinions, too many internal conversations. Discipline becomes necessary not to restrict life, but to protect the heart. God's desire is not to burden you at the end of this year. It is to prepare you. Preparation does not always look active. Sometimes it looks like slowing down, like stepping back, like saying no to what drains you so that you can say yes to what gives life. Discipline creates space. Self-control creates peace. As we begin this episode, there is no expectation for you to measure your progress or evaluate your failures. This is not a moment of judgment. It is a moment of invitation. God is inviting you to end this year with clarity instead of chaos, with intention instead of impulse, with peace instead of pressure. Discipline, guided by God, is never harsh. It is gentle, it is protective, it leads toward life. Allow your heart to remain open as we continue. There is no rush. There is no pressure to change everything at once. God works patiently, and He meets us right where we are. This is a moment to listen, to align, and to let God prepare your heart quietly and faithfully for what lies ahead. As the year comes to an end, many hearts feel the urge to look back. We replay conversations, decisions, missed opportunities, and unfinished plans. Reflection can be healthy, but without discernment, it can quietly turn into self-criticism or emotional overload. This is where discipline and self-control become essential, not as tools of pressure, but as forms of protection. God never invites us to discipline in order to condemn us. He invites us to discipline in order to guard us. True discipline begins with awareness. It is the ability to notice what is affecting your heart before it shapes your direction. Many people live reactively, responding to emotions, opinions, and circumstances without pausing to ask whether those reactions are leading them toward peace or pulling them away from it. Self-control is not about suppressing emotion. It is about choosing how to respond to it. At the end of a year, emotions tend to surface more intensely. Fatigue lowers emotional filters. Disappointment can become louder. Regret can feel heavier. Without discipline, the heart can drift into places it was never meant to settle. Comparison, resentment, anxiety, or harsh self-judgment. Discipline steps in gently and says, "Pause. It teaches the heart to stop spiraling, to stop rehearsing pain, to stop feeding thoughts that drain hope. This kind of discipline is an act of kindness toward yourself. God knows that what you repeatedly focus on shapes what you carry into the next season. That is why He calls us to turn away from what disturbs peace and pursue what restores it. Not abruptly, not forcefully, but intentionally. Self-control helps us end a year honestly without ending it harshly. It allows us to acknowledge mistakes without becoming defined by them, to recognize growth without becoming proud, to notice weakness without becoming discouraged. This balance is sacred. Many people think discipline is about adding more effort, but biblical discipline is often about removing what is unnecessary. Less noise, fewer distractions, fewer internal arguments. Discipline creates space for clarity. As the year closes, God may be inviting you to release certain habits, conversations, or patterns of thinking that no longer serve the life He is shaping in you. This is not loss, it is alignment. Discipline protects what matters most, the heart. Self-control also teaches us how to manage endings. Endings can feel unsettling because they expose what remains unresolved. Discipline allows us to sit with that discomfort without letting it control us. It reminds us that unfinished chapters do not mean failure. They mean continuity. God is not threatened by what remains incomplete. He works through process. Discipline teaches us to trust that what God began does not need to be rushed or forced to be finished. It will unfold in His time. Self-control keeps us from making impulsive decisions out of discomfort with waiting. This is especially important as people begin thinking about the next year. Goals, plans, resolutions, and expectations can quickly turn into pressure. Discipline brings the heart back to a simpler question. What is God asking me to carry forward? And what is He asking me to leave behind? Not everything needs to cross into the next season. Self-control allows you to choose intentionally rather than emotionally. It helps you end the year with peace instead of exhaustion, with gratitude instead of guilt, with trust instead of fear. God's discipline is never meant to shrink you. It is meant to steady you. As this episode continues, allow yourself to see discipline not as something harsh, but as something healing. It is God's way of saying, "Let me help you guard your heart as you step into what comes next." And when discipline is guided by His presence, it does not feel restrictive. It feels safe. At the heart of discipline and self-control is a sacred invitation to choose direction over impulse. Most people believe that life is shaped by big, dramatic decisions. But in reality, life is shaped by small, repeated choices made quietly over time. Choices made when no one is watching. Choices made in moments of fatigue, temptation, and emotional vulnerability. This is where discipline becomes deeply spiritual. Discipline is not about controlling life. It is about surrendering direction to God. God knows how easily the heart drifts when it is tired. Weariness weakens discernment. Emotional fatigue lowers boundaries. And without realizing it, we begin allowing things into our inner world that slowly pull us away from peace. Discipline is God's gentle way of calling the heart back to center. Self-control is not strength in isolation. It is strength that flows from trust. When we trust God, we stop reacting to everything. We learn how to pause before speaking, before deciding, before agreeing internally with thoughts and emotions. That pause is not hesitation. It is wisdom. It creates space for God's voice to be heard. Many people fear discipline because they associate it with restriction or deprivation. But biblical discipline is about preservation. It preserves clarity. It preserves peace. It preserves spiritual sensitivity. God does not want to remove joy from your life. He wants to protect it from being slowly drained. At the end of a year, this protection becomes even more important. The heart is more exposed. Memories surface. Regrets replay. Conversations echo. Discipline teaches the heart how to revisit the past without becoming trapped in it. It allows reflection without spiraling, evaluation without condemnation, and honesty without despair. This is maturity. Self-control teaches us something essential. Not every thought deserves attention. Not every emotion deserves agreement. Not every impulse deserves action. A disciplined heart learns how to observe feelings without being ruled by them. This is not emotional suppression. It is emotional stewardship. God never asks us to silence our emotions. He asks us to submit them. Submission brings order. Order brings peace. Peace allows God to lead without force. Many people carry unnecessary weight into a new year simply because they never learned how to release intentionally. Discipline teaches release. It teaches discernment. It teaches the heart to recognize what belongs to the past and what is meant to continue forward. You are not required to bring every regret into the next season. You are not required to carry every disappointment. You are not required to replay every failure. You are allowed to leave some things behind. This is not avoidance. It is obedience. God often calls His people to turn away before He calls them to move forward. Turning away requires discernment. Discernment requires self-control. And self-control grows when the heart trusts that God is leading towards something good, even if it is not fully visible yet. When discipline is rooted in fear, it becomes rigid and harsh. When discipline is rooted in love, it becomes freeing and gentle. God's discipline does not shame you for where you have been. It redirects you toward where He is leading. It reminds you that your life does not need to be loud to be meaningful, busy to be valuable, or reactive to be faithful. There is power in a quiet, directed life. A life that is not constantly pulled by opinions. A life that is not ruled by emotional swings. A life that is guided by God's presence instead of inner chaos. This is the life discipline protects. As you prepare to close this year, God may be inviting you to make peace with your pace, to stop rushing growth, to trust that He is more concerned with the condition of your heart than the speed of your progress. Self-control allows you to enter the next season lighter, more aware, more grounded. Not because everything is resolved, but because your heart is aligned. Alignment creates stability. Stability creates peace. Peace sustains faith. This is the quiet strength God is forming in you. This is the discipline that guards your soul. This is how God prepares His people, not through pressure, but through peace. Let us enter this time of prayer slowly, allowing the heart to settle and the mind to quiet. God, we come before You at the closing of this year, aware of how much we have carried. We bring You our thoughts, our emotions, our reactions, and the places where discipline felt difficult. You see not only our actions, but the fatigue behind them. You know where self-control was challenged, not because we did not care, but because we were tired. And still, You receive us with grace. Today, we ask You to teach us how to turn away from what disturbs our peace and to pursue what leads us closer to You. Help us recognize the things that quietly drain our strength, the thoughts we replay, the habits we tolerate, the emotions we allow to lead us without discernment. God, teach us how to pause. Pause before reacting. Pause before speaking. Pause before agreeing with thoughts that steal our peace. We acknowledge that many times our lack of self-control was rooted in weariness, not rebellion. In pressure, not unwillingness. Meet us in those places with compassion. Restore what has been depleted by long seasons of responsibility, expectation, and silent endurance. God, we surrender our inner world to you. Where our minds have been restless, bring clarity. Where our emotions have been overwhelming, bring order. Where our words have been careless or impulsive, bring gentleness. Help us develop discipline that flows from love, not fear. Discipline that protects our hearts instead of condemning them. Teach us how to guard what is sacred within us, so that we do not carry unnecessary weight into the next season. We release what you are asking us to leave behind. Old regrets that no longer teach us. Habits that keep us distracted from your presence. Patterns of thinking that pull us away from peace. God, give us the courage to say no to what drains us and yes to what restores us. Give us self-control that is shaped by trust, not pressure. Help us end this year with honesty and humility, without harsh judgment toward ourselves. Remind us that you are more concerned with the condition of our hearts than with our performance. Thank you for your patience with our process. Thank you for guiding us gently instead of forcing us forward. As we prepare to step into the coming year, anchor us in you. Let peace guard our hearts. Let discernment guide our choices. Let discipline shape our path quietly and faithfully day by day. We place this year and the year ahead fully in your hands. We trust you to continue the good work you have begun in us, knowing that you lead us toward life and peace. Amen. As this time comes to a close, allow yourself to remain still for a few more moments. The end of a year does not require rushing into conclusions or resolutions. It invites reflection, awareness, and gentle alignment. Discipline and self-control are not meant to rush you forward, but to steady you as you transition. You may not feel finished with this year. Some things remain unresolved. Some questions are unanswered. Some hopes feel delayed. That does not mean you are behind. It means you are human, and God is still at work. Ending a year well is not about closing every chapter perfectly. It is about learning what to carry forward and what to leave behind. Discipline gives you permission to release what no longer brings life. Self-control gives you the wisdom to choose peace over pressure. You do not need to bring every burden into the next season. You do not need to carry regret as proof of growth. You do not need to punish yourself for what did not go as planned. God is not measuring your worth by outcomes. He is attentive to your heart. A disciplined life is not rigid. It is intentional. It allows you to move forward with clarity instead of chaos, with trust instead of impulse. It helps you walk into a new season lighter, not heavier. As you step away from this moment, remember that self-control is not something you achieve once and then master. It is something you practice gently, day by day. Some days will feel steady, others will feel scattered. God remains patient through all of it. Growth often happens quietly. Alignment often happens slowly. Peace often settles gradually. Do not underestimate what God is forming in you through small, consistent choices. Each time you pause instead of reacting, each time you choose rest over noise, each time you pursue peace instead of control, something within you is being strengthened. Discipline guided by God does not restrict life. It creates space for it. Space to listen, space to heal, space to trust, space to move forward without fear dictating your steps. As a new season approaches, allow yourself to enter it without urgency. You are not required to rush transformation. You are invited to walk faithfully. God is more committed to your growth than you are, and He is not discouraged by the pace. Carry this truth with you. You are allowed to move gently. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to trust God even when the path ahead is not fully clear. If this time has spoken to your heart, continue to create space for reflection and alignment. Return to God when emotions feel loud. Pause when decisions feel heavy. Let discipline and self-control guide you toward peace, not pressure. May you end this year grounded, not exhausted. May you enter the next season aligned, not anxious. And may God continue shaping your life with patience, wisdom, and grace.